and Josh Albrecht today as well. Welcome in to the leadoff show. We are live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound.
Yeah, baby.
Tommy Wortz here with you, and Josh Albrecht inside Wisconsin Sports. We're going to be here all the way up until first pitch. Now it's game 2 of the NLDS, Milwaukee Brewers, Chicago Cubs. It'll be Aaron Ashby on the bump for Milwaukee going up against Shota Imanaga of the Cubs. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Place is packed today, contrary to maybe the first hour on Saturday. Josh, how are we doing today, my friend?
I mean, I'm freaking out. I am just straight up freaking out already. I do appreciate the fact that people came out. There's still room for you here at Kelly's.
Oh, yeah.
On Blue Mound, and you should be here. If you're not, I'm already disappointed in you. But let me just say that I am proud of all the people that came out. They know first pitch is still 3 hours away. They're like, yeah, that's perfect. That's plenty of time. Go down to Kelly's, have two tree, take their show down. It's going to be great.
Yeah, see, I'm supposed to make the cut-ahead jokes on this show, Josh.
I'm sorry. I missed that in the notes.
Brewers game 2. Game 1 was awesome, Josh. We got to talk about it in the first segment. We were both there. We were both there as fans as well. We didn't have to go in as members of the media for the game. And it started off where you thought, oh, no, here we go again. This is what's going to happen to the Milwaukee Brewers when they get to the postseason, and how quickly that narrative changed. Just 10 minutes later after that, the leadoff homer for Michael Busch, and then the Brewers 3 straight doubles, 6 runs in the first inning, and they come away 9-3 with the victory over the Chicago Cubs. What were some of your reactions to game 1, Josh?
Yeah, so I mean, it was a roller coaster from the beginning, but I think let's clarify. It wasn't, I don't think for myself and a lot of Brewers fans, it wasn't, oh, woe is us, here we go, we're going to lose this game. It was the worry of Fastball Freddie being Fastball Freddie. You know, we were just so used to him giving up that solo shot before he could get settled in, and then that's exactly what happened. So it had us scared a little bit, and I think it had us worried. Not that we were worried this team couldn't come back and win, but just that was going to be the Freddie Peralta we had, and it didn't matter because as soon as the Brewers got a chance to bat, they said, yeah, that one solo shot, that's fine. We're not going to worry about that. They erased that deficit in 2 swings, and it was fantastic. And then they never looked back.
No, never looked back at all. Freddie Peralta, you mentioned it, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, 4th postseason start, 7th postseason appearance of Freddie Peralta's career. It was his first win. He now has tied the franchise record as well for strikeouts in a postseason contest. Brandon Woodruff had it before that as well. He did it. And Freddie Peralta was great. He maybe had some of the biggest questions surrounding him in game 1. You knew what he did all 2025. It looked great. But if you watched every game, you always found yourself saying you wanted a little bit more from Freddie, just a little bit more day in and day out. That not the case for game 1, Josh.
No, and here's the thing that made it different, right, is that we can focus on pitching because pitching is most important, especially in the postseason.
Oh, yeah.
Unless your offense just erupts, which is what happened in game 1. And the biggest thing to focus on in game 1 was the fact that the Brewers got all those runs in the Brewers' way. You know, we've been talking about it all week. We talked about it last week. You know, postseason baseball is different. You know, it's usually the pitchers are on, and if you're going to score runs, it's because you took advantage of that 1 or maybe 2 mistakes that the starting pitcher made. Otherwise, they're lights out. And I'll be the first to admit, I was really worried about this Brewers team being able to peck away and keep pecking and getting singles, doubles, stealing bases, you know, sack flies, doing whatever they have done all season long, because it just seemed like all these other teams were doing the long ball, which is what the Cubs did. But the Brewers proved, hey, we can still play our game and come away with a W. Now, I am not saying that formula will work every game, but it sure did in game 1.
Yeah, and how could it not, right? Highlighted by Jackson Chourio, who, by the way, if you did not hear, will be in the lineup today. Pat Murphy giving the okay on Jackson Chourio. He is ready to go for game 2. He was 3 for 3. He's the first player in MLB history to pick up 3 hits in the first 2 innings of a postseason game. That top part of the order, Pat Murphy's saying he's going to rock with the same lineup today as he did yesterday. Well, hey, that's going to be pretty awesome if they can have similar results to where it's 3 doubles in a row to start the game, get yourself 2 runs. That first inning proving to be very crucial, and you knew that was going to be as well, and that's why you thought it could be detrimental to give up that home run to Bush to start things off.
Yeah.
But the Brewers came out 6 runs in a postseason inning, ties a franchise record now to Josh. Oh, and on top of it, 3 homers, not just 1, but 3 homers for the Chicago Cubs, and they still found themselves down by 6 at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, as far as Murph's concerned, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
100%.
Right? So, I mean, after game 1, of course, it makes sense for him to come out and do the same thing. Why wouldn't you? I'm going to guess, obviously, I'm not a Cubs fan, but I would assume that if you asked one, hey, your team's going to hit 3 home runs today, how do you feel about your chances? They would have said pretty darn good. It turns out not the case because of the offensive just onslaught from this Milwaukee Brewers team in game 1. I think as Brewers fans, I'm going to tell you, you know, I always preach my realism. I would not expect that type of outing again. I think that the Cubs, you know, this is a chess match. They're going to find ways. They're going to try doing whatever they can to limit that. I think it was a little bit of a shock to the system for the Cubs. I expect this game to be a little bit more tighter. But as long as there's an opportunity and Murph and the Brewers can take advantage, they can come away with a win.
It is the leadoff show. We are live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Brandon Snide producing the program back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Josh, you brought it up. The lineup, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Everyone who started in the lineup picking up a hit yesterday. Caleb Durbin, 2 days ago, rather. Caleb Durbin had 2 runs driven in as well. William Contreras, that third double in the first inning. Where do you go to in the lineup as far as where were you the most impressed with the Brewers in game 1 against Chicago?
Yeah, for me, it definitely came down to that Blake Perkins AB. I mean, first of all, if you weren't aware, his story, what he went through during the season, losing his mom, coming back, they did not make that known in the middle of the season. And so when it came out late in the season, at the end of the regular season here, I mean, that just added so much to his story. And then for him to go and have an 11-pitch at-bat to really break that game open, ends up being the one that takes Boyd out of the game, making it 4-1. I mean, that was huge. That was, to me, that was the pivotal.
It was everything, as you would say.
Yes,
right?
That was the pivotal point of the game. It broke the whole thing open. That's the moment.
That was the moment. 2 hits for Blake Perkins, William Contreras, Bryce Terang, Jackson Churio, all multi-hit games as well in game 1. And the Brewers get into the bullpen just a little bit, right? Soroka had to pitch, Savale, Brown, maybe not a lot of the high leverage guys for Chicago, but it definitely throws a wrench into things when you can't even get through the first inning of Matthew Boyd. And it was a little bit later known that Matthew Boyd was going to be a part of it. But in years past, very much the Achilles heel of Brewers baseball, lefty pitchers, right? It always felt like they never could hit left-handers. They've done a phenomenal job at turning that around this season. Hey, and they get to go up against another one who they've had success against already today, Josh.
Yeah, but don't get overconfident in that. Listen, anyone can have their day, and I think it was – listen, when you saw Craig Counsell in his presser after the game and he was asked about starting Boyd, I mean, you could tell the frustration on his face of, look, it wasn't just me, the whole team, the whole organization. Everyone was like, it's Boyd. We're all confident with Boyd. We all want Boyd. And then it ended up not working out. These are the decisions that are made. There's no way that he could have thought that Boyd wasn't even going to be able to get out of the first inning. I mean, that's ridiculous. And so for Brewers fans to feel like, hey, we've always hit this guy starting tonight, I'm not going that way either. Every game, look, it's the playoffs. Every game is special. Every game is different. You got to go in there in that chess match and just be locked in.
Brewers won game 1 of the series. It's the first time they've won game 1 since 2021 in a postseason. My Lord, and that was against Atlanta, which they ended up not winning that series anyway in the case. But how important did it feel for game 1 in this one, especially to send that message to Chicago? When Chicago comes out, they hit the home run. They're on the board first. They got their 20% or 25% of the crowd on their side immediately, and for the Brewers to answer back so quickly. Now, the approach later on in the game, Pat Murphy came out and said wasn't very pleased with it after the second inning already. They put up all 9 of their runs in the first 2 innings. if it is on that large a scale, Josh, maybe won't be a problem. But the Brewers have to find a way to stay competitive throughout the ball game in order to keep applying that pressure or Brewer baseball against Chicago in Game 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I don't think that anyone expected them to have 9 runs by the second inning, and including the Brewers. Let's be honest. If you're on that team, I don't think you're going into the third thinking, all right, we got 9 runs in so far. So I'm sure that changed the mentality a little bit. But like I said, it's very, very unlikely that that's what happens tonight. And so I'm expecting more of a battle and more of a fight through all 9 innings. And that's what we should expect, because as much as I hate to admit it, this Cubs team is a good team too.
Yeah.
And so, these teams together and this rivalry, and they're going to do everything they can to make this a tough game on both sides. And so you just got to stay locked in, like I said.
Aaron Ashby starting Game 2 tonight. Came in for relief in Game number 1 as well. Jared Koenig, Nick Mears, they didn't really have to use all of their leverage guys either with that approach too, Josh. How important is that going down the stretch in your mind that McGill and Uribe didn't even have to come and hit the field either?
Listen, it makes it seem important when you look at the fact that Ashby's starting.
Yes.
I mean, that's answering its own question. You're thinking to yourself, the fact that Aaron Ashby is starting this game proves how important it was that they didn't have to go deep into the bullpen and that they could kind of coast through Game 1, because, and I honestly, I think that is a huge factor in them deciding to put Ashby out and kind of put this mystery out there to kind of confuse not just the Cubs, but all the fans too, on what is the plan here, what is going to be the long-term plan through Game 2 on the mound. Obviously, we're thinking, all right, Ashby starts, but is it going to go to Priester? Is it going to go to, a bullpen game? We don't know. But the fact that Game 1 went the way it did is what gave Murph and this team the opportunity to play with some things, get creative, and now start Ashby in Game 2.
Jackson Chourio healthy on top of it. Some big news that we got just before we came on. He was phenomenal in Game 1. Everyone's breath gets taken away when he comes up limp, running to first base in Game 1. What kind of impact do you think he will have today after the phenomenal day in Game 1? And on top of it, then it allows you to have a much deeper bench where you can go to a guy like Isaac Collins whenever you want to in the game, and gives you a variety other than feeling like you can only be restricted to a Jake Bowers or an Andrew Monasterio in those moments.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously the one shadow, the one cloud in the sunny day that was Game 1 is the Chourio injury, right? And obviously, we all held our breath trying to figure out, immediately going to social media, trying to, what happened, where's he at? And I'm still, even here, a couple hours before the game, so confused on how to feel about Jackson Chourio, because after the game, it was, I'm good. I feel good. It was precautionary. Meanwhile, you got Murph being like, it could be devastating. Right. And now here we are, and it's, all right, so Chourio did some tests. He was running a little bit, yesterday, and then they come out and they say he's starting. He's lead off. He's going to be in left field. And then you have Murph saying, he won't be 100%, and they'll take him out of the game if he's showing signs. Okay, so what is it? Where is he?
Right.
I'm immediately on edge, not knowing exactly where Chourio is. Obviously, he has that type of outing in Game 1. You want him back in the lineup. You almost feel like you need him in the lineup. But you don't want to do something stupid and have it cost him, the rest of the series and further, depending on what is truly going on with that hamstring. So very interested to see what they do with Chourio. I'm not going to lie. It would be really great if they could get another big lead again, and then they could be like, all right, Chourio, you did your job. Come on out. We'll have you rest the rest of the game.
It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain. Brandon Snide back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're here with our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth, easy to drink, no bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser, only 100 calories, 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today. Let the good times cruise. Milwaukee. Josh, before we get to break, Game 1, again, some guys I really want to talk about in this one before we head over to some comments from Pat Murphy that I got here. Andrew Vaughn staying hot, still at the plate. He loses his battle with Aaron Savale, which
that did kind of sting. but the fact that they were up so much made it okay.
Yes, Joey Ortiz as well, getting on base a couple of times. Drew
That was
2
wild.
walks.
Can we just talk about those walks, by the way? 8 pitches, 2 walks. How nuts is that?
Yeah, they didn't want to face him. And then on top of it, then Jackson Churios picking up a hit on the other side every time. Sticking with that bottom part of the order, I kept saying and drilling this home, the Brewers are at their best when that bottom part of the order keeps performing. If it is the same configuration, which we believe it will be, of Durbin, Perkins, and Joey Ortiz, do they have to have a similar game in order for the Brewers to have success today in Game 2 in your mind?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I mean, obviously I don't expect them to have as good of a game as they did in Game 1 because of how Game 1 went. But the big thing that I kept saying in the stands was you just good at bats. At the very least, make sure that you're forcing them to, no 3 strikeouts, 3 pitch outs. Make sure that you're making them throw some pitches, getting that pitch count up, having good at bats. And that was what we really saw from them. It's not like Ortiz, went 2 for 3 with a double. He had some walks, he had some strikeouts, but the thing is that he had good at bats when he needed them, and then that's what led to runs. So from the bottom of the order, I'm not expecting them to be the reason why this game goes the way for the Brewers, but if they can get quality at bats, that all encompasses a win, and we need those two. That's a big, big part of tonight.
Josh, I'm so excited for Game 2.
Yeah, I am very nervous.
After Game 1, I can't imagine what it feels like to watch a sporting event in the shoes of Josh Albrecht after seeing what happened in Game 1. I mean, you get physically ill.
I do.
It looks like
it is awful.
I know that I always am very passionate and into it as well, but I can't say I get to the level of Josh Albrecht because his stomach was churning, it felt like the entire time. He brought his lucky hat again, though, at least today.
Fit.
So it should be all good. Heading to the bottom part of the first inning in Dodgers-Phillies, 0-0, a couple of runners on for Los Angeles. They did win Game 1, so keeping an eye on that series as well. It is the leadoff show. We are live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound, back in the studio, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Our producer, Brandon Snide. Want to get a little bit of Pat Murphy in his presser yesterday and playing a little bit today. It is the leadoff show. We'll talk to you on the other side with some Pat Murphy.
2-2 from Savali, and Churio grounds one to third, diving stop by Shaw. His throw not in time. Another run comes home.
I mean, I'm sure we're not going to, if he gets in a situation where he feels it, we're going to take him out. If he gets in a situation where he doesn't feel like he can do the job, we're going to take him out. Yes.
That is.
I mean, I'm sure we're not going to.
Oh, there it is.
If he gets in a situation where he feels it, we're going to take him out.
There is Pat Murphy speaking earlier today. The highlight courtesy TBS. Jackson Churio legging it out. Pat Murphy basically saying, yeah, we're gonna see what his limitations are on if he feels it or not. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here, live with you from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Josh, we talked about it in the last segment that if the game gets to a similar spot as to where it was, you can expect
we're going to be doing real good if that's the case.
You could probably expect Churio doesn't finish the game in a moment like that, but I think you like to see that out of the Brewers. They understand that this isn't just some random game in August right now. This is postseason October baseball. You know this team's full of competitors up and down, and Jackson Churio just proving it again, making himself ready and available for Game 2 after getting pulled from Game 1.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it might have been a while since the Brewers are in a 5-game series, best of 5 series, but they still, especially the fans and them, they understand how this works. The Cubs, even if the Brewers won Game 1, right, the Cubs are just trying to win one of these two, which makes this game just as important, right, so that the Cubs are going back to Wrigley down 0-2. That means this game is just as important as Game 1 for the Brewers to come out and come away with a win. They realize that. They understand that. And that's exactly why they said, hey, if Churio can go, we're gonna put him out there.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy yesterday, I love that for the postseason, they print the transcript for me on the post-game pressers.
That's nice.
And media availability around, so I can validate everything that has being said. Someone who's not in the dugout or in the clubhouse every day, like our guy Drew Wagner, who will join us at 7:40 today as we're going 3 hours all the way up until first pitch, talking all things Brewers Cubs. And I wanted to get to a couple of comments and see if you heard them, Josh, from manager Pat Murphy. When he was first asked on who they were pitching tomorrow, that's when we found out Aaron Ashby was going to be the starter. And the big question, the $1 million question, well, who's to follow? Pat Murphy then, quote, now you want to know who's pitching, who's coming into the game. Then want to know who's substituting in the 5th inning. I don't know if Priester will be next. I really don't. That gives me just a little bit of a hint that it could be Quinn Priester. It sounds like Quinn Priester would be a part of the plan if everything was going smoothly. But maybe, Josh, in another situation, if they get up to themselves 9-3 after 2 innings, maybe it's not Quinn Priester, and they decide to go the bullpen route in that. The uncertainty we're living in, how are you feeling about that right now?
So this morning on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, we talked to Lane Grindle, the radio broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers, and I asked him just this because I was thinking, look, this gives the Brewers the most opportunity to switch things around as they're happening, right? If Ashby goes out there, doesn't pitch as well as they're hoping, right, then maybe they can go Quinn Priester and he can go further. If Ashby is killing it and he goes a little bit further and then they decided to go a bullpen game, could that happen? Here's the thing. I asked Lane because I don't know, right? And as a fan, I'm happy to always admit when I don't know something. I don't know the routine on game day, but I know that they're not going to waste Quinn Priester, right? So if it means that, they had to do extra things to get him loose for today, they're not going to let him just sit and waste this opportunity if then because they got him loose, they can't pitch him in Game 3. So that, to me, it kind of all comes out to if you see Priester in any way, shape, or form having the ability to go tonight, then at some point he will go tonight. Whether that is later in the game or, I hope not, but earlier in the game, it all depends on if that was their plan, according to Lane Grindle.
Well, and we heard a little from Pat Murphy as well earlier today, and he said basically, well, on the high end, maybe 4 out of Aaron Ashby. We knew he was going to be in some sort of opener role, but he is a guy who transitioned from starter to reliever earlier in his career as well, and now thinking that, well, the Cubs are also playing chess right back when their lineup comes out. Michael Busch, who was leading off and hit that homer off of Freddie Peralta, he is not in the lineup today. Justin Turner going to lead things off. 40 years old at first base. Justin Turner is the match that Craig Counsell counters with today. If Aaron Ashby had a line of 2 2 2/3, do you think he's going over that mark today? Do you think that he has to go over that mark? Where is your lean on Aaron Ashby coming out to start things off for the Brewers in an opener position?
Yeah, listen, I don't know why, and it's just a feeling, but I have a feeling that even if Aaron Ashby is doing really, really well, I think that Murph has a plan. I don't think that he's going to go out there and tell the media the plan. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're playing a game of chess. But I got a feeling that regardless of how he's doing, the most he's going to go is like right around that, maybe get out of the third inning at most, go a full 3 innings. And then he's going to go to that next step. The question is that next step Priester or is it the bullpen? And they make this into a bullpen game. But I do not expect to see, Aaron Ashby going 4 or 5 innings, even if he's dealing. I don't see it. I think that they have a plan, and I don't think that they want to have Ashby go all out and then just be toast for the rest of the series.
The line yesterday from Murph here, the Ashby thing. So what are we going to say? Well, Ashby, he hasn't thrown a complete game this year. He's probably not going to throw 95 pitches. But if someone would ask me that question, I'd say he could go as long as we want him to. Know what I mean? That's where he is going with the comments on Aaron Ashby.
Now, what do you want him to say?
Right.
So that's my thing, right? Like a lot of people got to realize that this is a
Peralta or Quinn Priester. It's like he's going to go the whole game if everything's going well. That's obviously not going to be the case with Aaron Ashby.
But also this is media availability, and the media is asking the questions that they have to ask, and Murph is going to answer them in a way that's not giving too much information, but also answering the question. And so saying, hey, if he pitches well, we're going to have him go as long as he can. Well, adoy. Yeah, that's a great. Yes. Of course, that's the answer. If he would have came out and said, no, he's pitching 1 2/3, and I don't care how it goes, then maybe you stop and you go, now, wait a minute. What did he just say? But him giving that answer to me is the most vanilla, exactly what a manager is supposed to say in a presser before a big playoff game.
It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers
we are.
Blue Mound. It is packed in here. We got free shirts as well if you guys are out there.
Shirts.
We got shirts, hats, everything you want. All you got to do is come up and grab them. They say Euchre Magic on it. Got some nice station branding.
You got to be a Brewer fan, though. If you're a Cub fan, I'm looking at you, and I'm not okay. I saw like one guy, and I went, no.
Not today.
What are you doing?
Pat Murphy also had been asked some questions about Shota Imanaga, the counterpart today to Aaron Ashby. He had been asked, Imanaga is a guy you've seen 3 times this year. If you think back, what are some of your takeaways from the times you did face him? Pat Murphy then saying he's good. His heater, the number on the board, the heater plays well up from that. If it says 91, it seems like it's 95 to 96. He's got a great breaking ball, great splitter, seems like great character, seems a little, I don't know. I feel like he's a great character guy in the game, really successful pitcher. They went out there and got him, spent a lot of money on him, and he deserves it. He's been great. Brewers have had some fun against Shota Imanaga this year as well, Josh. You're the one wanting to take it day by day, game by game. I know it's the playoffs, the postseason, different animal here. But you have to know that in your mind as a hitter that you have had success against this guy in the past and try to play into it.
Yeah. Listen, that's the same to me as saying, hey, look, the Dodgers, did they slump? They didn't play anywhere up to the, their ability. And then you look at them, how they've played so far in the postseason. Everything changes as soon as postseason baseball starts. All the records go back to 0-0. It is all completely new. And so I am not judging a pitcher at all based on what has happened the last few times. I'm judging them on how they're doing right now and how this Brewers team can attack that pitcher right now.
I want to bring it up again here. We we have seen this Milwaukee Brewers team do good things all season long, and the speculation on the lineup is going to be the exact same. That's what we've at least heard. So it looked like this yesterday. In left field, it was Jackson Chourio to lead things off. Bryce Terang at second base batted second. William Contreras was catching, batting third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Sal Frelick in right field, batting sixth. Caleb Durbin, the third baseman, will bat seventh. Blake Perkins in center field will bat eighth. Joey Ortiz, the shortstop, rounds things out. He will bat ninth for the Crew. How quickly do you think Pat Murphy will counter if Imanaga doesn't have his stuff, or vice versa with Craig Counsell, right? I mean, I can't imagine Justin Turner finishes this game in the leadoff spot today based on how Craig Counsell had the lineup operating yesterday with a righty on the mound and now a lefty coming for Milwaukee today.
You know, listen, it's the easiest to play this chess game when everything is going right. You don't have to worry about the moves you're making and the risks involved if the first few moves you made are just doing exactly what you needed them to. And that's how it's been for the Brewers. And so my big hope is that those risky plays, those risky moves, those fall more on the Cubs and Counsell to make. And that the way that Murph and this Brewers team lay this out pregame, what their plan is, that it just works that way as best it can. And they don't have to worry about all the little intricacies of who goes, how long, double switches, having this guy being in, and they just keep doing exactly what they've done when they're successful so far in 2025.
Aaron Ashby will be making his first start in his postseason career. Ashby, when commented on it, asking him how does it alter your approach or your mindset going into a game, Ashby says, I think just again, like all of the outings leading up throughout the years, I guess, it's been about getting outs, whether that is in the first inning, the fourth inning, the fifth inning, seventh, whenever it is. I think they've made it clear that your job is just to get outs. And then when they ask you to stop getting outs, that's when you stop. Going into today, it'll be kind of the same situation. Just prep the same. I feel like I have a good routine to get me ready, so that's what we'll do. Mentioned to him just like 2 days ago, he had said that there maybe was a possibility. He kind of knew what was going on. Keeping yesterday somewhat short was helpful. The day before that was. Body feels good. It's kind of the same throw, day of, day off. So you're kind of on the same schedule as it has most of the year. Does that give you a little more confidence about the move and Aaron Ashby to come up today?
No, not at all. Listen, that answer, like I said, talking about Murph, it's exactly what a pitcher would say in that situation. You know, I mean, listen, yeah, that's the job, right? Whether it's the first 4 innings or innings 5 through 8, it doesn't matter. Your job is to go out there and get out. His job today is going to be to go get outs and to get them without giving up runs. And so as long as he can do that, I think that it doesn't matter when he's thrown it. I know that there's a mental aspect to it. And, you know, there's obviously we saw that with Mizorowski too, sending him to the pen. So it will be interesting to see if Ashby can be in the right mental mind state to be exactly where he needs to be. But I don't see a reason why he can't be it. And I trust that Murph has a plan.
One more line from Pat Murphy's presser before we hit another break here. This was the line. You don't seem all that tense. Some people get tense at this time of the year. Pat Murphy Albrecht, then said, tense, question mark? Question. Sure, you don't seem stressed out very much. Are you really good at hiding it? Pat Murphy then replies back with, I have 2 kids, 10 and 6. You want to come in my office right now and see what'll make you stressed out? If Jackson doesn't eat the right amount, he gets cranky, and it's a tough day. That is stress.
Yeah, I love that answer as a father of 2. But also, you know, this is the difference between us as fans and them as a player and coach, right? They have to be in a completely different mindset. We are allowed to freak out. We are allowed to fan, right, the way that we want to fan. They can't. They got to be locked in. They can't be stressed. They can't be having that type of mentality. The fact that we saw Craig Counsell clearly stressed in game 1, pacing, upset, that was unique to see from a manager. Even though his team was getting blown out, there was that frustration. I don't expect – that's not Murph. That's not Murph to be that way, and I just hope that they don't give him a reason to test it.
This series has been a dead heap all season long.
Mm-hmm.
Each team has won 7 games, 65 runs for the Brewers in that stretch versus 63 for Chicago. So they were being outscored until yesterday. 15 homers to 20 homers in favor of Chicago. The Brewers have about 30 points higher on batting average. The OPS 721 as a team for Milwaukee versus 704 for Chicago. However, the ERA battle, 4.43 for Milwaukee versus 4.29 for Chicago. So it should be a good one indeed for game number 2, American Family Field. By the way, we didn't bring this up. Like, awesome environment yesterday.
Oh,
Everyone brought it.
Saturday.
It was, Saturday.
I know. It felt like it was
that's
yesterday.
another thing we didn't bring up.
Yeah.
Why you get 4 off days all year, and then they're going to have one every day in between games here?
Listen,
for the Brewers?
we talked to Jeff Levering about it on Inside Wisconsin Sports because I was very curious, and he said that was decided a year ago, and they just have it to where they flip-flop years. Last year it was the AL side. This year it's the NL side, where you don't play back-to-back to start the NLDS or the ALDS. And so this year the AL had to play that Saturday, Sunday, and this year the NL did not. So they're on the Saturday, Monday. It's just the way that it goes. They get that rest. Trust me, after that huge win, I would have kind of been roaring to get back out there on Sunday. But it is what it is, and here we are. Let's go.
Let's do some more speculation on the other side for game number 2.
Let's do it.
It is going to be Brewers Cubs. It is going to be Aaron Ashby going up against Shota Imanaga for game number 2. It is the leadoff show. We are live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Brandon Snide producing the show, back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
he's he's matured, and he's realized that he can. His confidence level is went up. He realizes, wow, I'm pretty good, and I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know what it takes for me to be good. And he's very consistent. He's a diligent worker. He loves to throw, and that enables him. And he's found the role for him that he really likes.
Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here with you live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Place is packed, Josh.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome here. Bunch of great specials they got going on. Not a lot of Cubs fans. Looks great. With a lot of Brewers people in here
Love
too.
that.
I see you got a menu there as well.
Well, I just thought I'd let people know the leadoff show. They got their pregame menu here. They got the giant pretzel on here, which there's literally a table right below us of some Brewers fans just housing that bad boy. Proud of you guys. I see you down there. You're killing it. They also have the best tater tots ever. That's not me saying that. That's literally the name of it on the menu. Best tater tots ever. Never less than a pound of tots. Listen, I like me some tots. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You load them up. Ton of great food here. Come get 2 beverages before you head down. Take the shuttles. It's packed, but there's still plenty of room here at Kelly's Bleachers. Come down, say hi to us, grab a shirt, have some fun, and let's go Brewers.
Yes, let's go Brewers indeed. Reuben rolls is where I'm going for sure.
Also good.
Cannot believe that I haven't seen a Reuben roll out here yet. Let's keep guessing here, Josh. We talked about
fantastic,
it. Aaron Ashby going to be the opener. Everyone wondering who will be the next man out here.
Can I stop you? Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Listen, we've been analyzing this on this show alone for a little bit, and then before this, all the shows leading up to today, as soon as we knew Ashby was going, they're saying the same thing, and I'm just sitting here going, I don't want to think about the answer to that because I just want the offense to do its thing. The answer to who goes after Ashby is not as important as we think.
Well,
if this
let
offense
me
keeps
counter
going.
that with another counter to you here.
Okay.
If the offense is doing their thing,
yes,
then the decision doesn't matter at all, but it could mean something like getting someone like a Jacob Mizorowski, like a Robert Gasser, some valuable postseason innings to which you can then warm them up into something as opposed to coming into an inning where it's more necessary and then they have to burn some leverage guys earlier in the contest.
Listen, the Cubs in game one, they had to worry about who was coming in next and how many of their bullpen pitchers they were going to burn because of how that game was going. They didn't want to have to go to their bullpen. The Brewers forced them to go to their bullpen. We don't have to worry about if it's Priester or if it's a combination of guys. If they come away with the W in this game,
100%.
Right? It's a completely different conversation.
But you got to get to that point as well, Josh.
I understand. And you want to guess, you want to go about it, but I just can't help but sit here and just go, I just need the offense to, even if it's half of what they put out in game one, to just keep showing up and being that offensive force.
Well, and the Brewers put up the third most runs in all of baseball. The only thing that doubted the offense was the long ball. So the doubts you have with the offense, I don't necessarily know if I understand, Josh, because they have that 6-inning performance was nothing new the Brewers did all season long. They were the best in the league of innings of 4 or more runs all year as well. When they do get hits, they string them together. They come in bunches. You should probably have more confidence in the offense, in my opinion.
And you're probably not wrong. Here's the thing is, even though they put up the numbers that they did on Saturday and they did it in their way, I still can't help but feel like this is postseason baseball, and that is a rarity. You don't see what we saw in game one in the postseason. And so for that reason alone, I am standing here, and I am saying I am not expecting the ability of this Brewers team to peck away in the first 2, 3, even 4 innings and put up 5, 6, 7 runs on single stealing bases, doubles,
but if I would have told you before that it was going to be a game that scored 12 runs in the contest, would you have thought that favored Milwaukee or Chicago at first?
I definitely would have thought that it favored Chicago.
Yes, so if they continue to keep the scores low and the offense doesn't perform, I would say that favors Milwaukee with how their pitching staff has been all season long as well. So I think that this Brewers team, I would actually rather see and guess at who's going to be the next man up on the pitching side of things, because I'm done doubting this offense on a next man up mentality. They've continued to prove us wrong day in, day out, all season long.
Yeah.
And even in their first postseason game, they continue to prove us wrong if we speculate about the offense. I think the biggest questions are on the pitching side, especially when you don't know who is going to be pitching in the fourth inning of your ball game right now.
Well, my counter to your counter.
Yeah.
Do you think that Craig Counsell and the Cubs thought they were going to be putting out the pitcher they did in the fourth inning of game one?
Probably not.
No, of course not, which is exactly why you're sitting here and you're going, you never know. You never know how it's going to go. And the big difference is it doesn't matter who you're putting out there if your offense is clutch. Same thing would have happened for the Cubs in game one. They had to worry about it because their offense still only had 3 home runs, 3 solo shots, and that was the only time the Brewers pitching staff made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the Cubs did take advantage of those, but they were solo shots, and the offense had this game so far gone already, it didn't matter. And
Josh,
I'm sitting here and listen, I'm a stubborn fan. And this Brewers offense, they're going to have to prove it. They're going to have to prove me wrong again.
I expect them to as well. That's where I'm at with this Brewers
I'm going to knock on
offense.
all the wood right now.
Josh, if you got a ticket to Game 7, would you even want to go in a World Series moment? I just don't even know if you would be physically able
No,
to.
I'm
by
absolutely
the end of it.
there with the puke bucket.
Okay, all right.
And yes, but I am there. I would probably have to get 2 seats because whoever got the seat next to me would not be having as much fun.
If you have to guess, if you had to guess,
Yes. One game at a time.
today,
Yes.
it's Quinn Priester coming out after Ashby.
I'm going to say yes.
What if I said it's Jacob Mizorowski? Do you think things are going well or poorly for the Brewers?
I don't feel one way or another. I think it's just that was Murph's plan all along. Regardless of what happens, I think that it was not a game time decision on who follows Ashby. I think that this was the plan. I think they had that plan the entire time. If it was going to be Priester, Murph knows it now. If it's not Priester, Murph knows it now. We will find that out later, and hopefully we find it out when the Brewers are up big and Ashby's pitched well.
Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound here with 1250 AM, 105.7 FM. The Fan. Studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You better get down here quick if you do want to get to Kelly's Bleachers because this place is getting packed. There's so many people. You've got to be
No. I see an open seat right there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's right there.
There's plenty of parking, as you saw as well beforehand. Not the case as well, but they got shuttles running all throughout the game. They will get you to the game, I promise. They have a fantastic shuttle. It's just up the road, obviously. All you got to do, take General Mitchell Boulevard, and you're already right next to the preferred parking over there. Game 2 set to begin 8:08 today. 0-0, bottom part of the third inning. Kyle Schwarber up to bat for Philadelphia as the Dodgers lead that series 1-0. We are here with our friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Baseball calls for a Sun Cruiser Vodka. Have you tried any of the Sun Cruisers yet, Josh? Because they are actually fantastic. And
they're very good.
There's some counterparts of, hard iced tea that I don't really get behind. I don't really like what it does. Not with Sun Cruiser. They got no bubbles in there to fill you up. The lemonade is just like you're drinking an Arnold Palmer. It's absolutely delicious every time I have it.
Sure is.
First hour of the leadoff show in the books. We got 2 more here for you, taking you all the way up until first pitch today. The last hour will be joined by Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Get you some of the best bets if you want to get any action on today's game. And, of course, Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports, will be coming up in that last hour. It is the leadoff show. We are live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Brandon back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 1 hour down, 2 more to go. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound, getting you all caught up for NLDS Game 2. Brewers, Cubs. It'll be Shota Imanaga going up against Aaron Ashby for Game 2. I do have some lineups here to get to you as well. The Cubs lineup looking like this for today. Justin Turner to lead things off. He's at first base. That was the chess move in retaliation to Aaron Ashby starting. We can all assume from there. Nico Horner moves up. He's batting second, playing second base. Kyle Tucker, the DH, will bat third. Seiya Suzuki in right field will bat fourth today. Ian Happ in left field will bat fifth. Carson Kelly is catching. He will bat sixth. Pete Crow Armstrong in center field batting seventh today. Dansby Swanson at shortstop will bat eighth. Matt Shaw is the third baseman. He is batting ninth. Now, from the Milwaukee Brewers, what we are trying to establish is officially the lineup, which is we just got it right now. Here it is. Here we go. Same lineup from yesterday. Jackson Churio in left field will lead things off. Bryce Terang at second base. Second. Ferris is catching. He will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth today. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Sal Frelick in right field will bat sixth. Caleb Durbin at third base bats seventh. Blake Perkins in center field batting eighth. Rounding things out, playing shortstop, it'll be Joey Ortiz. Josh, we are out here. We've been out here for an hour now at Kelly's Bleachers. 2 hours away from first pitch. And as you said with the lineup earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, look, I mean, this is not surprising that this is the lineup, and I am okay with that because it worked really well in Game 1, so don't mess with it. Just hope that the magic from Game 1 can continue in Game 2.
Game 2, 8:08 first pitch. Aaron Ashby going up against Shota Imanaga this Game 2. The lineup, like we were all worried about, Jackson Churio is a part of it. There was some substitutions that came in as Isaac Collins was a pinch hitter when Jackson Churio came out. We saw Brandon Lockridge come in the outfield. Jake Bowers, by the way, it's his birthday today. I'm expecting big things out of Jake Bowers. He's turning
number
30.
One Jake Bowers fan.
I'm 1,000 on base percentage in the postseason. Jake Bowers.
That's what I heard from you. Yeah.
I'm ready to see a whole bunch of chess pieces going at it. And it's something that Brewers fans are used to, right? I mean, that's how postseason baseball has always been. But the guy on the other side, if you forgot, Josh, he used to play like this all the time heading into postseason play, where it was, we're going to have this guy open, right? Wade Miley, and then here comes Brandon Woodruff.
Biggest swerve.
There's always something to be said about how managers handle their action in the postseason. Has the last 2 years given you some more faith on Pat Murphy's moves as opposed to how you might have felt about Craig Counsell's moves in the past when it comes to the chess match of postseason baseball?
No, listen, all of the past few seasons of Brewers postseason baseball for me, I've had to put in the back, deep, far away subconscious part of my brain because I have been told and I have witnessed that this team is different than those teams. And so it's not analyzing what moves the manager makes. It's looking at this team completely different. This is a completely different team. They are the most winningest team in the regular season in Brewers history. They are a different team. They're playing different. They're being managed different. I am not taking anything from past postseason experience and applying it to this series.
What about the regular season then? If you look at this regular season, you applying anything that you learned from the Brewers in 2025 to the postseason during that stretch?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be stubborn and I'm going to say that it's more difficult for them to do. But this team in Game 1 offensively did exactly what they've been doing offensively all season long. I mean, as long as they weren't in the slump, this is how they were winning games. They were pecking, right? They said they're the woodpeckers. They just kept pecking away. It could be down, 6-2, doesn't matter. They peck away, they get it here, a run here, and before you knew it, it was 7-6, and they were back ahead. And that is the type of offense this team has had. I am very cautious about that being the way that runners score consistently in postseason. But like I said, they proved me wrong in game one. I hope they prove me wrong in game two.
There was a couple of trends from game one that really show the Brewers' strengths throughout the regular season. For instance, the Brewers, if they score more than 4 runs this year, Josh, in all game, they were 81-17 when they scored more than 4 runs in contests. If they scored 3 or fewer runs, they were 16-48 during that same stretch. However, the Brewers early in the season, they had to score first in a lot of ball games as well. The Brewers, when they scored first in a game in 2025, were 69-23 on the year. When the opponents had scored first, they were 28-42. Yesterday, Chicago getting on the board first, but however, the Brewers counter with that 4-run number.
Yeah, I mean, it was a unique situation, especially early. I don't think that a lot of Brewers fans were expecting that, even half of that performance on Saturday in the first inning. And you just, that's why I say every single one of these games is unique in the way that it's played and the moves that they have to make. But that game, it reminded, and I said this morning, it reminded me a lot of one of those moments like in the Brewers championship run where it was a game and a win that you're not going to forget on their path to victory. And so hopefully that's what happens here. I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Tommy. So we're talking about, game two and how things are different as we analyze, this game before it starts. I want to talk about the start time for this game and what you think that does for the crowd, because we heard not only Pat Murphy, but Bryce Turang and a few others talking about how it definitely felt like a home game. It did not feel like there was a huge Cubs presence and that it was definitely more Brewers fans. I definitely think part of that was because the Brewers came out and put up huge numbers in the first 2 innings, and that really quieted the Cubs fans. And so it made it easier for the Brewers fans in attendance to be loud and be louder. This game starting at 8:08, very unique time, late start.
Mm-hmm.
How do you expect the crowds to be for game two? Also, a little bit of rain in the forecast as well.
Yeah. I'll answer your question with, why don't you look at the crowd here? Like, it's full of Brewers fans at Kelly's
Well, that's
Bleachers.
because Brewers fans are smart. That's why they're here.
They are
Cubs
going to
fans,
show up. I have no doubt about the Brewers fans after one game. That was it. All I needed was to see one game was going to be fine, and I think that it's going to replicate throughout this series. There was a comment yesterday, again, from Pat Murphy. They like to call this place Wrigley North. Not us, but fans, media in Chicago. Sure, it's not ill-natured, maybe a little trash talky, but meant in fun, which was just a terrible stuff for this question. By the way. What do you think when you hear this place called Wrigley North, and how do you characterize this environment for big games compared to elsewhere in baseball? Pat Murphy, I think, an awesome you know, if you can have a moment like that where you have the crowd really get behind you, the moment getting there. We had a number yesterday with Rami Makloff saying that 80% of the time when you out-homer your opponent in the postseason, you will win the ball game. The Brewers didn't care about that number at all, as it was 3-0 on the home run margin. I don't know if that is sustainable. I do think you have to find a way. The Brewers hit 160 homers as a team in the regular season. That is near the bottom of anyone in this postseason. I understand that they want to play the game their way, but to a point, their game is also waiting for the home run as well.
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting to hear you say this, because usually people just disagree with me the whole time and fight me. But this is my point, right? Is that it's all based on the pitcher and the mistakes that the pitcher can make. Obviously, we saw from Matthew Boyd that even in the postseason, it is possible for someone to have a rough outing, to have an off day. But you can't bank on that, right? Right now, this Dodgers-Philly game, there's one hit through 4.5 innings. One hit in the whole game, right? And that's what we're kind of used to in postseason baseball, because these pitchers are so elite, especially the starting pitchers, and you don't really see a lot of runs usually until later in the game when they start getting into the bullpen. Knowing that Ashby is starting this game, and we are not going to have a situation where we're going to have a starting pitcher, regardless of how Ashby does, he's not going to go 6 innings. And so because of that, you have to think this team needs to find a way to get the ball out of the yard, put up some runs early, be that offensive force, and give your pitching staff some love.
It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with Josh Albrecht from Inside Wisconsin Sports. Got an early morning for you as we got the new lineup as well. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht on Inside Wisconsin Sports, 9 to noon with Kuhn, Rami Makloff, Brandon Snyder, who's producing today, producing that show as well. The Mason Crosby Show still on the air. New time, though, 12 to 2. And, of course, Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer from 2 to 5 every weekday as well. We are here with our friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Baseball calls for a Sun Cruiser Vodka iced tea made with real iced tea, real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth, easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It is the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser, only 100 calories, 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today and let the good times cruise. Milwaukee. Coming up on the other side, let's hear from the manager, Pat Murphy. He spoke to the media earlier today, had some availability in the press room to talk about today's contest. I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about Jackson Chourio and how he is available, ready to go for the Brewers in Game 2, and a lot of questions on Aaron Ashby getting the start as an opener in Game 2 with the Brewers taking Game 1, now trying to move to 2-0 in the NLDS against the Cubs. It is the Leadoff Show. Tommy Works, Josh Albrecht here with you live from Kelly Speakers on back in Studios Power of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mount. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Woo! Brandon Snide producing the show, doing a fantastic job so far as well. Back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports. He'll join us at 7:40 today in our last segment ahead of Brewers Cubs NLDS Game 2. Was so nice to get us some audio over for the manager, Pat Murphy, speaking to the media earlier today. Here is that audio of the manager, Pat Murphy, on NLDS Game 2.
Murph, being the entertainer you are, how much of that, the old Casey Stengel, Jeff McKeon, Ozzie Guillen, taking the pressure off your own players by being out there giving a lot of copy to the media, how much does that come into, your thinking about taking the pressure off?
Yeah, it ain't about me. Let's make it clear. Like, anything like that is just me being light and I think authentic, but like, it's just I like to keep it light. I don't have a strategy behind it, to be honest with you. I'm nervous, like everyone else is nervous before games. There's no strategy. There really isn't.
Go to Todd in third row. Murph, can you share if Jackson's in the lineup tonight and how
How do you not have the lineup time? He's the only guy in the room that doesn't have the lineup.
Nobody has the line.
Okay. This could be off the record. You guys got to get better. Okay? The lineup's been out since last night. So get some context. Murray's got the lineup, don't you, Murray?
I've had it since last night.
See that?
Is he in the lineup?
Oh, no. He's leading off. Same lineup as last game.
Come down to Andrew in the front row.
I was actually going to ask the same thing.
All right, we'll go up to Andy, far right, fourth row.
So the Chairs in the lineup is obviously good enough to play. I'm just curious, if you talk to him about how he feels just testing the leg. I know it was kind of in his head when he was coming back from it originally.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. It's like it's the mental hurdle. I'm sure it's not 100%, but I'm more worried about behavior than feelings. However he feels isn't as important as how he behaves.
Go to the left side, go up top, and then we'll come down to Kerry.
In 2021, you guys were in the same position and the series didn't go your way. Are there any lessons you can learn from that experience that help provide this team?
That was Braves. Yeah. I mean, this is postseason baseball. I mean, you play one pitch at a time, and what happened in 2021, I hardly remember. I remember Freddie Freeman was on that team, and he had a huge hit in that series at a huge time. And, it's just a different world. I mean, to learn from it, I don't know. You learn from every game you coach. You learn from every year you're in. Postseason's hard. It's the best teams in baseball. That means you got in the deal. And wherever we are, there's 8 teams left. Is that right? There's 8 teams left. That's great company. So anything can happen. There's no lead that's safe. There's no 2-0 deficit. There's no game deficit that prohibits anybody from being capable of doing it again. But learning experience in terms of how we did it back then, I don't think there's things you do differently if you knew the outcome, right? If that ball's going to get down instead of get caught, which is it's not a matter of strategy, and that changes a lot of things. So it's our game. It's the way we play it. That's why we play 162, because you find out who the best are over time. But in a postseason thing, anything can happen. You just got to be ready and keep swinging, keep punching.
Go to Kurt in the third row on the line.
Are there any limitations with Churio when running, especially on defense?
I mean, I'm sure we're not going to, if he gets in a situation where he feels it, we're going to take him out. he gets in a situation where he doesn't feel like he can do the job, we're going to take him out.
Is he in there in left field?
Yes.
Go to Steve, second row with him.
That was actually the question, but for Ashby, what's been the pitching? We're putting him right back out there today. He's had a really good productive season for you in a relief role. Just what's been the key to the way he's been able to perform for you all year long?
Yeah, I mean, he's been really consistent. He's kind of finding himself as a pitcher in that role, 6 outs or whatever it might be. He's a guy that likes to throw. He's after his injury, his serious shoulder injury, he's come back last year and this year. He's been a worker. He just wants the ball every time out. He's a good matchup for righties and lefties, but he's been one of our best. He's been a key to this team being successful.
Go to Steve in the front row.
Pat, I hate to ask you to repeat yourself. I'm sure you've remarked on this before, but what does it make you feel, if anything?
I do, whether I want to or not. I have to repeat myself.
Right. What does it make you feel, if anything, to hear council get booed?
I hate it. It's none of my business. But I know this: they never boo a bum. You know what I mean? You get booed, you're good at something. And I hate it because I know how much he loves Milwaukee. I know how much he loves the city. He loves the state. There's no one that's more fond of the high school athletic performances than Craig. He follows the guys in basketball, football, baseball, women's basketball. He follows all of it. And this is his residence, and he's, in my mind, but fans will be fans. They're fanatics, so they do what they do. People pile on and that type of thing. But I think he's above that, and he knows they never boo a bum. So Manny Machado comes here, they boo him every time, and he gets a homer or two. So it doesn't affect the great ones. And, I think the fans will come around someday. I do.
Go to Sophia, front row on the right.
Mark, what did you like about just the pressure offensively you guys were able to show in game one, and just how you can see the guys continue to do that today?
Yeah, I mean, that has to be us. We're not going to out-homer teams. That has to be the way we play. We have to take the walk when the walk's there. We have to take advantage of the infield hit or the error if we can. Just keep grinding the bats out. We have to play that way, and it was great to see, especially right out of the box. Hopefully we can do that. I didn't like the last 6 innings approach at all. You're going to go through those times.
And then here's the second row.
Murph, back to Ashby. Is there an inning threshold for him tonight before you go to a guy like Priester at all, or is it just if he's grooving, he's going?
Yeah. We got to be reasonable. But I think he can give us 3. Maybe at the far side, maybe 4. We'll see.
Go up to Adam in the third row, in the middle.
I didn't see you yet today, Adam. Good to have you.
How are you? Mark, how are you thinking of Jose Quintana tonight? Is he
I love that kid.
in play if you need it, or do you want to have him start a game?
That's a definite possibility. We're going to see how this one goes. All hands on deck. See how this one goes. But yeah, he's definitely in the forefront of our mind.
Go to the far right, second row.
Mark, I'm sure there's another one we get a lot. You have Quinn Priester coming from the beginning of the year when you guys are kind of desperate for pitching. They have him.
Kind of desperate.
They have him turn in the performance that he did. How much did that mean to you? Season.
I mean, this kid, you talk about Collins, what he did for us day in, day out. Quinn Priester, an amazing story that we go pluck a kid from AAA that we kind of knew about him. Like, he pitched for Pittsburgh, so we saw him a few times here and there. But you would not peg him as the guy that was going to be one of the flagship guys that's going to help us have the regular season success we've had. So, yeah, and to know the kid and the competitor, and it's amazing. You know, it's really amazing. I'm really, really happy for the kid. You know, like, obviously we've enjoyed having him, but he's just, yeah, he's been great.
For the second round.
You said after game one, just a couple of minutes ago, that you weren't as happy with the at-bats after that second inning. What do you think the difference was in those at-bats, and then what do you take from them moving forward into this game with your approach and how you go at it?
For us, you got to get the first. You know what I mean? The likelihood of just winning with homers or extra base hits comes from swinging at the right pitches. And I just felt like we got a little bit, I don't know if the word's complacent, but I think we didn't have that same mindset. It's very tough when you score 9 runs. It's very tough to have. And credit the Cubs pitching. They knew us, and they pitched to us very well. Savali threw the ball great. Ben Brown kid's breaking ball was special. So that leads to that poor approach sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's not easy. But I think the urgency to score more runs goes down a little bit when you have a big lead. And we're based on that urgency to get the first, somehow create first base.
There is the manager, Pat Murphy, speaking to the media before today's game. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here live with you from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Brandon Snide back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Pat Murphy, knowing the chess match that is playoff baseball. Game 2, we are just about an hour and 20 minutes away from that. A phenomenal Game 2 going on in Philadelphia, by the way.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like exactly what I was talking about the importance of taking advantage of those misses. It's 0-0 in that game.
Yes. Blake Snell, Jesus Luzardo, both doing their thing. Bottom part of the 6th inning right now. Luzardo, I believe, just hitting 70 pitches, if he has hit that even. Blake Snell sitting at 77, no outs in the 7th inning.
You know how many hits?
1 hit for each of them.
1 hit per team in this game. More to my point, Tommy, of the importance of taking advantage of those opportunities and not relying on the fact that you're going to have 7 to 10 opportunities to peck away, get a base hit here, steal it, to get another base hit. It's postseason baseball. These guys are locked in.
I think that it's going to be more of the same from the Brewers. I'm expecting the offense to continue to do great things. I really am. I've been watching them all season long. They come in bunches whenever they do get hot. I was worried maybe a little bit with the off time, and now they proved them that they might have needed it more than anything else. If they can continue to do more of the same, they're going to be just fine, Josh. I'm trying to ease you as much as I can. I know you're going to be texting me like throughout this entire process
the whole time.
of either you were right or I was right throughout this. We'll be right back. We got one more segment before we get to a traditional style leadoff show. Game 2, Brewers and Cubs. It'll be Shota Imanaga going up against Aaron Ashby. Quinn Priest. No, we don't know yet, Josh.
We don't
know yet who's going to be coming out next.
Easy.
We're live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Hard Iced Tea. Brandon back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
things leading up throughout the years, I guess, kind of just been get out. So whether that's in the first inning or the fourth, fifth, seventh, whenever it is, I think they've made it clear that your job's just to get outs, and then when they ask you to stop getting outs, that's when you stop.
There is Aaron Ashby speaking to the media earlier today. His job to get outs. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers. Hour and 20 minutes or so away from first pitch at American Family Field. Aaron Ashby, the opener today for the Milwaukee Brewers. Josh, we've had Brandon Snide helping out producing this program all day today. And I don't know if you know this, he actually hosts the Locked On Brewers postcasts every day as well. So he follows this team just as much. Snide, how are you feeling about Game 2 right now for the Crew as an opener and Aaron Ashby going, and then after the performances we saw in Game 1?
Well, to be quite honest with you, we talked about this on 9 to Noon as well today. I feel really good about Aaron Ashby. When it was announced yesterday by Pat Murphy ahead of the workouts prior to Game 2, Aaron Ashby, I still go down this route, you guys, and maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like he's got the nastiest stuff in their bullpen, in their rotation. The movement on the stuff that he has is just lethal. 2.16 ERA. He hasn't given up a run, you guys, since September 9th. So he's going on almost 30
knock on
days.
wood immediately.
Knock on wood immediately. He hasn't given up a run in almost 30 days. I think it's fantastic. You heard Pat Murphy. You guys had hit on it a little bit. I think they try to stretch him to, into that fourth inning, ideally get through 3 innings. And I talked about this on the show, on my post-game show on Saturday. Michael Busch right now, if you're looking at that Cubs lineup, who scares you? Who's like right now, who scares you in that Cubs batting order? It's not Kyle Tucker, right? It's not Seiya Suzuki right now. I mean, it's Michael Busch. I think we can all agree with that, right?
I think that the Cubs offense as a whole, I still feel like is that early part of the season Cubs offense. I know they tailed off in the second part of the year, but we saw what they could do all the way up until June on a pretty consistent basis when the Brewers were chasing this Cubs team. They got really bit by the injury bug on the pitching side of things. Obviously, Kyle Tucker slowed down a bunch, maybe costing himself a bunch of money with his second half performance. But I don't think that I will ever count out the Cubs offense. And like I was telling to Josh, I think a high-scoring game is all in favor of Chicago, always. And I do think that this Brewers offense will be able to go blow for blow with anyone in this postseason, but I still think that you want to keep this thing as low-scoring as possible because that means the Cubs offense is not on the top of their game, Brandon.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. The Brewers, offensively speaking, I know they don't hit home runs. I know that's a big talking point. They have the largest run differential in baseball in the regular season. What we saw in the first 2 innings on Saturday, likely not to happen, but that over a course of, that was with 9 runs in 2 innings, but I think they can do that over the course of a game. You heard Murphy talk about not being happy how their approach was after that. I do think that they can continue what that offense was in the first 2 innings, but spread it out over the course of the game. They're relentless. The approaches that they have at the plate are unlike any other team that we've seen over the course, really since I would say early, mid to part of June for this Brewers team. But the big thing, obviously, is Jackson Chourio. I mean, he's the key piece to all of this. Obviously, I don't think the Brewers would put him out there in harm's way if they thought he had a high chance of re-injuring or making that hamstring injury worse. They've invested a lot of money into him, a lot of assets into him. They want him for now and for the future. He was such a big piece. Michael Busch leads off that game with a home run, and you're I know for me, and I'm assuming for Josh, because I think we probably fanned the same, was you kind of slumped in your chair like, come on, like we waited all this time and we lead off with a Cubs home run. Chourio was the biggest part of that game for obvious reasons, but he got the mojo going right away in the bottom half of the first inning with a leadoff double, and then they hit 2 more after that. He was so vital for that offense to get going and get the vibes going right again. So him into that lineup, not only is he in the lineup, you guys have talked about it a few times, though, now he's out in left field. I think that speaks volumes on where he was health-wise and where he is health-wise. So that's the big thing for me. I love the Aaron Ashby start. I love that the Brewers, and I talked about it with 9 to noon today, you can go a few different ways, right? We talked about it, and you guys have talked about it. You want to keep Michael Busch out of that lineup, who we would argue is maybe one of the Cubs' best hitter. You could throw Jose Quintana in after Aaron Ashby. If Aaron Ashby goes 3 or 4, guess what?
Can you imagine that, Brandon?
Well,
Could you
that's the
imagine
thing.
if after all of this speculation, it's Jose Quintana,
Right.
like coming out of the pen, like, oh my God, it's Jason Bourne, but it's Jose Quintana's
Essentially.
face
And
coming out on the other side.
Would it surprise either one of you guys from Murphy if that's what we saw? Like if the Brewers
Yes.
are up,
if Jose Quintana pitches first today, that would be maybe the only name that would surprise me. Actually,
I think I'm with you.
Yeah,
actually,
like
yeah.
I think that it would be just again like the evidence of Murphy playing chess better than anyone else, or if it is better, I guess in hindsight in his mind. But I feel like I would be more surprised about Jose Quintana than any other name if he comes out and takes the ball after Aaron Ashby today, right? I mean, like
the only reason
Anderson, maybe.
The only reason I say that is because Vinny Rottino was on Wisconsin Sports Daily. The weather projection for Wednesday is the wind blowing in from Wrigley. The Cubs, over the course of this year, have pounded the heck out of sinkers and fastballs, right? They're a home run hitting team.
Yes.
If that wind is blowing in and you roll out Quinn Priester for game 3, again, he won at Wrigley in August when they had that 5-game series. He was one of the only 2 guys to get a win in Wrigley. He's pitched at Wrigley. He's won at Wrigley. He's from Chicago. His family lives in Illinois. I'm curious if Aaron Ashby can go 3 or 4, you bring in Quintana for 2 or 3, and then you let Abner Uribe and Trevor McGill cook. Because, again, they haven't pitched. They didn't pitch on Saturday. Your high-leverage guys didn't pitch.
Right.
I don't disagree with your whole formula there and the way you're looking at it until you get to Quintana. I think that they could hold off on Priester until game 3. I definitely think that's a possibility. But if it is, that's when I think that they're going to go maybe Miz or
I don't. Do you trust him though?
A straight up bullpen.
Do you trust Miz in a 1 or 2 run game?
Personally, betting favorite in my mind, not courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. If it's not Quinn Priester, it's Jacob Mizorowski, first name out of the pen for me. That's where my brain goes first.
But do you remember the words that Pat Murphy used after his last outing in the regular season? If you don't remember them, I have them embedded in my brain. After he said, quote, he didn't hold his water.
Yeah.
Why? I just don't know why you would put him into a big spot if it's a tight game. Here's the other thing for you guys.
Yeah, I have an idea.
I don't want to backtrack.
Here's an idea, Brandon. How about it's not a tight spot?
Well, ideally, but here's the other thing. Here's one for you guys. I was a little bit surprised when the Brewers went up 9-3 and were kind of cruising in that game that we didn't see Mizorowski. I thought that was a miss by Pat Murphy.
Yeah.
I thought that was a miss to get your guy in there in a playoff situation in front of the home crowd, a 6-run advantage, and get his confidence back up where it was prior to the All-Star break. I thought,
I can get behind that.
I thought that would have been a moment for him to get in that game. We didn't see him. I don't know if you're Pat Murphy, I don't know if you can trust Jacob Mizorowski in a tight spot right now.
Well, then why wouldn't you keep Tobias Myers?
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, then why have him on the roster?
I think that they think the stuff plays. Maybe it's better to have his stuff go after a Quintana in a ball game where it's just a wide range of, hey, Quintana's a lot of slow fastball, nibbling on the edges, like a little bit of off speed to throw you off, and then you get 103 at your face if you're Jacob Mizorowski on the bump. I do think, like you said, maybe it is a missed opportunity to not have him go, but I think they have more confidence in him than anyone in the seats, at least, as far as Jacob Mizorowski goes. Brandon Snide producing the show, joining us here in the last segment of the second hour, as it is Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht. We are here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. I could totally use a Sun Cruiser right now. They are so tasty when it's a little bit warmer. We got a lot of man going on in this booth right here.
True.
For the Milwaukee Brewers and Chicago Cubs heading into Game 2. We will get into a traditional leadoff show on the other side. I got my starting lineups here to tell you guys for the Chicago Cubs, for the Milwaukee Brewers. Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook going to join us at 7:20. Get you some of the best bets if you want to get any action on today's game between Milwaukee and Chicago. And, of course, Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports, will join the program 7:40, always the last segment of the show, getting us all caught up on things Brewers and Cubs. We are in the 7th inning of the NLDS in Philadelphia right now. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Dodgers with no outs as Jesus Luzardo is finally going to be taken out of the game. You'd rather be early than late on a situation like you're seeing
already
right
be
there. The Dodgers up 1-0 just got 2 hits to start the 7th inning as Philadelphia going to make the first pitching change of the game. Looks like it's going to be Johan Duran. Wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens today, and it's Trevor McGill coming out in the same process.
Oh, man.
Josh gets way too stressed. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain. Brandon Stein back in studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. More leadoff show coming up next. Brewers Cubs Game 2 National League Divisional Series. We'll be right back with more of the leadoff show right after this. Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here with you live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Brandon Snide producing the program back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Milwaukee Brewers, Game 2 of the NLDS. It'll be Shota Imanaga going up against Aaron Ashby for Milwaukee. 8:08 first pitch from American Family Field. We heard the pitching matchup. What's the lineup look like for Game 2?
Looking up, and it is long. It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan.
Thanks again to Lakeland University for being a part of the leadoff show all season long. Experience it your way, lakeland.edu. First up for Chicago, the lineup looks like this, a little different from Game 1. Justin Turner to lead things off. He's at first base. Nico Horner at second base will bat second. Kyle Tucker, the DH, will bat third. Seiya Suzuki in right field bats fourth today. Ian Happ in left field will bat fifth. Carson Kelly, the catcher, will bat sixth. Pete Crow Armstrong in center field batting seventh today. Dansby Swanson will bat eighth, play shortstop. Matt Shaw at third base will bat ninth. Now your Milwaukee Brewers today. Jackson Churio in left field to lead things off for the Crew. Bryce Terang at second base will bat second. William Contreras is catching. He will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Sal Frelick in right field will bat sixth. Caleb Durbin at third base batting seventh. Blake Perkins in center field bats eighth. And rounding things out, the shortstop, Joey Ortiz. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wirtz here, joined by Inside Wisconsin Sports, Josh Albrecht.
Hi,
Josh, I mean, We've had a blast here. It's starting to clear out. The shuttle must be moving along here at Kelly's Bleachers right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was packed. People are getting ready for game time. Still a ton of people here, though. Very excited for this Game 2. Brewers baseball. I'm jacked. I know you're jacked. Let's go.
Game getting blown open right now for Game 2. Dodgers now 3 runs in the top of the 7th inning off Orion Kirking for the Philadelphia Phillies in the top part of the 7th inning. Just got a big hit. I didn't even see who really got it, actually, there. Looks like Will Smith, their catcher, Will Smith, with the big knock to drive home
with
two.
it, yeah.
Keep his name out your mouth if you're talking about him, Josh, all right? Right now, Brewers, we gave you the lineup there. They're rocking with the exact same lineup as they did in Game 1. The Cubs, however, does this seem like a Hail Mary type move?
No.
Or were they going to do this with a lefty no matter what in your eyes?
No,
Josh?
I think this is, listen, we had Craig Counsell on our side for a couple years. Okay, we know that. Craig, this is a total Craig move. He plays the statistics. He'll play the options that make sense. And because he does that, it's also not that surprising. So him going out and making a move like this with the lineup based on the fact that Ashby is starting the game, not surprised. I also wouldn't be surprised if when Ashby came out, he then made the switch and he brought, pulled some guys and put some other guys in. It's no one should be surprised by that because we're used to how Craig Counsell manages games, and that's his recipe. That's his bread and butter.
Here's a fun one for you. Will Aaron Ashby see Justin Turner twice in your mind in this game?
I don't know. I'm going to say no.
No?
I'm going to say no. Here's the thing. We've been talking about this for, a few hours now, and even more going back a few days here on the Fan. Do you feel as confident in this Brewers team with them starting with Ashby as you would have if they would have just came out and said, Priester's our guy Game 2?
I wish I could say yes. I really do. I am one of Quinn Priester's biggest supporters, biggest cheerleaders. So I would like him to know he's going out there and know he's going to start a game. I'm sure that he's been notified, hey, you're going to be the first guy out, if he is the first guy out today, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that he's going into anything dark, but I mean, this is a guy who won, was it 20 straight, 19 straight games in a row in which he pitched in. He didn't lose a game until late September, all the way back to May 24th. It's crazy. I can remember it was May 24th, but not the number of games in between. It was that Pirates series in which Carlos Rodriguez came in, and then they had the rain delay, and then Carlos Rodriguez came back out during that. So I want to be as confident in Aaron Ashby as I would be in Quinn Priester, and his numbers would say I should be maybe more confident in Aaron Ashby, but I think Quinn Priester has done just a fantastic job. And really, the thing that I always say with Drew Wagner is just figuring it out on the fly all season long. This is a guy that everyone gave up on in his previous organizations, and then he found his way to Milwaukee, took that new opportunity, and figured it out. And I couldn't be more impressed with Quinn Priester. And I guess nothing is earned. Everything, in baseball, you don't earn anything just by being a part or doing what you have done. But if anyone had earned anything, I thought Quinn Priester earned a start for game 2.
Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the thing, and this is something I try to remember, right? Not trying to be negative, but being realistic and looking at this team. If Brandon Woodruff stays healthy, I think none of this exists. Right, I think that we just know it's going to be either Priester or Woodruff in game 2, and they're starting. There's none of this getting creative, confusing the Cubs. What are they going to do? Who are they going to put out? Who's going to come in after Ashby? It kind of feels like they're trying to get creative, get sneaky because of the situation they're in, which is why, as I said, if we were going to kind of do a keys to the game, I think it falls back on the offense to continue to do offensive things. I think that Murph is relying on the offense to put up maybe not the same numbers that they did, but to be able to be an offensive force to help them through this game and then send it to Chicago and either put out a Priester in game 3. I don't think it's going to be this back and forth, you take a few innings the rest of the series. And so I really think that that's why I focus on the offense, because I think that they kind of had to put something together here, knowing that Woodruff wasn't going to be available and that it wasn't going to be, we're going to have a starter set game 1, 2, and 3.
It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here. Let's head to the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. I guess we can take calls all the way out throughout this hour. Brandon Snide, I'll produce in the program. You can be like my guy, Ken in the Falls, jumping on here. Ken, how we doing today? Wait, let me guess. If you were any better, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
You got it, my man. You got it. It was nice to meet you on Saturday. Josh, good to have you back on the radio, buddy.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Good to hear you.
What do you got for us, Ken?
Well, as much as, the pitching, the starting pitching with Ashby tonight is kind of a head-scratcher to many. I think this is just Murph, with a little gamesmanship here. I do believe that it will be Quintana that you will see come in after Ashby, and I think it'll be Priester that will start in game 3 down in Chicago, the hometown boy. And I think so only because of the weather situation, too. I think Murph sees that, and he realizes what he's got with Priester and how he can keep the Cubs down. But tonight it's going to be about the offense again. I actually see the Brewers blanking them tonight. It's going to be a 6-0 shutout. They're going to leave early. They're going to be PO'd in Chicago. They're going to go down 2-0, and Milwaukee sitting in a catbird seat. This is a big game for the Brewers, only from the standpoint that you force them to chase you. You put them down 2-0 going to Chicago. If you needed 3 games to win 1, but I don't think they will. I predicted a sweep to start with. I'm staying with the sweep. They're going to knock them out and put the punch to them right away. I don't think the Chicago team, it's way overrated in my opinion. They get way too much national press. I listened today to shows, and all they wanted to do in Chicago was talk to Ron Darling and everybody else that favors them, which a lot of shows do. But it was disgusting to listen to them because they gave the Brewers no credit at all.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. That's usually how that would go, especially when they're in the position they are. But here's the thing, and I think you brought up a good point, Ken, is that Brewers fans need to remember when you got to win at home, right? And so even though they took care of business in game 1, if they lose this game, the Cubs still did what they were supposed to do. They took 1 of 2 and then headed home for their 2 games. So you're supposed to win at home. That's how this is supposed to go. Obviously, it doesn't always work that way. But to go to Chicago, sending the Cubs back home in an 0-2 hole is huge for the series. It's huge for this team. It's huge for the confidence, and it's huge for what Murphy can then do with this team going forward, not only in this series, but hopefully in the next one as well. It all starts with this team performing again tonight.
Ken, thank you so much for the call, my man. Don't be a stranger. Have a good one. Go Crew.
Hey, go Brewers, baby. Let's go.
There he is, Ken in the Falls, jumping off the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. Ken has been popping in all 2 weeks now with this new lineup here with me. He's a joy. Got to meet him yesterday.
Yeah,
I think we are
heck of a dude.
I think we are out. I think we gave out again over 100 Euchre Magic T-shirts today.
Hot item.
Awesome. It looks great. I know Josh was trying to even get one to sneak away. He couldn't even sneak away one because they were going so fast.
I felt bad. The shirt that I'm wearing right now was supposed to go to Trevor.
Yeah,
and I kept it.
I got a 2X, Josh.
Sorry.
I can sell it to you. It comes with a price.
Sell it.
You can sell it to Trevor. I'm wearing the same one I wore for game one.
$1,250.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
is the going rate.
Yep. Put a
of
comma
these.
on that price tag.
Yes. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here, 4-0 on the other side in favor of the Dodgers. Emmett Sheehan pitching for that got away from him for sure, and now the Philadelphia Phillies playing from behind. Josh, if they go down 2-0, that series is good as over, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely
the Dodgers getting 2 chances to clinch at home in LA.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as it is, I've already been looking at this team and the way that the Dodgers played in the wild card series, and I was like, oh boy, this is not that same Dodger team that was struggling, got swept by the Brewers. And there's just something about future Hall of Famers that when they need to turn that switch on, they find a way to do it. We see it in the NBA, we see it in the NFL, and we see it in the MLB too. And the Dodgers are getting it done. This Brewers team not being able to say that same story because there's not a whole bunch of Hall of Famers. This is just a team that is relying on the power of friendship. It is working, and hopefully it continues tonight. 8:08 start.
Yeah.
We are less than an hour away.
Less than an hour away. I'm excited. I'm going to stay up all night. I feel
I might
as
well.
Yeah, I feel for Josh Albrecht. He's got to get up and be on the air by 6 a.m.
Might be cutting sound right after the game, just going back to the studio.
Just sleep at the station.
Yeah. Who's ever done that before?
Yeah, just pop. There's a nice little couch if you ever get comfy. You might as well. I mean, it's totally okay if you do that. Looks like they have Roki Sasaki warming up for the Dodgers as well here. That would be interesting if they see him in this contest as well.
Can I just point out quick before we move on? You know, during that wild card series too, when we knew that the Brewers had that bye, and we're trying to think about, you know, who do we want to play, right? We talked about reseeding. You know, that's not a thing. But would it be terrible if the Brewers ended up going to that 2 seed because we didn't want to play the Cubs or the Padres? And you just never know. You just never know. I promise you, Phillies fans were not thinking that the Dodgers, who were struggling and fell, you know, and they ended up taking that 3 seed, that they were going to come in to Philadelphia and be this much of a problem. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Bring on the smoke, whoever for Milwaukee.
Well, let's start with the Cubs. Let's start with the Cubs in game 2 at 8:08. What do you say?
I want game 2 with the Cubs. I want anyone who steps in the way of the Milwaukee Brewers. That's how much faith I have in this team right now. I kind of feel like Ken in the Falls out here doing his best Tommy impression on the confidence that I have in this Brewers team to get things done and take care of business and hopefully provide as little stress to Josh Albrecht and take as little years off his life while watching Brewers baseball. When we come back, we're going to break a little early here because we're going to change things up just a little bit. Instead of Drew Wagner at 7:40, Drew Wagner will join the program at 7:20 on the other side, which then would mean our guy Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, he will join us at 7:40 today. If you want to get any bets in at the Potawatomi Sportsbook on today's game, it should be an awesome game too. It's going to be Shota Imanaga going up against Aaron Ashby. Brewers, Cubs, NLDS Game 2. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea, real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth, easy to drink, with no bubbles to fill you up. It is the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser only 100 calories, 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today. Let the good times cruise. Milwaukee. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht, Brandon Stein back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound alongside me, Josh Albrecht from Inside Wisconsin Sports. Brewers lineup, in case you missed it earlier in the show. Jackson Churio in left field to lead things off. Bryce Terang at second base will bat second. William Contreras is catching and batting third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Sal Frelick in right field to bat sixth. Caleb Durbin at third base batting seventh. Blake Perkins in center field will bat eighth. Rounding things out at shortstop, it'll be Joey Ortiz. Let's get to our guy, Drew Wagner.
What's the latest on the crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball. Join their fall mini camps at focusbaseball.com.
Much like Brewers manager Pat Murphy, you never know what you're going to get on the Leadoff Show. Actually, our first guest today on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, it is a Forbes Sports Brewers beat writer. Follow him on Twitter @by Andrew Wagner. It is Drew Wagner joining us here. Uncle Drew, how are we doing tonight, my friend?
We're ready for a nap.
Yeah. I mean, aren't you a night owl guy? I thought you'd be all in on the 8:08 first pitch.
I am. But see, here's the thing that people seem to ignore is that those of us who do this for a living, we don't get to roll in at 7:30, half in the bag. You know,
Yep.
I was here at 1:30. I put in a whole day's work. I'm ready to go home and drink about 7 beers and call it a night.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a bad plan. Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports, joining us here on the Leadoff Show. Drew, everyone is trying to get into Pat Murphy's brain. That's the storyline. But Aaron Ashby is the opener today. He will go for the Milwaukee Brewers. Did you guys ask anything as to why Ashby today? Just Ashby in general. What they felt the matchup was better. They want to mix things up after the Michael Busch homer to start things off. Aaron Ashby, the opener today. Your reactions to that, Mr. Wagner?
Well, it has to do a lot with the way, one, who the Cubs have in their lineup. It's got a lot of left-handed guys. You want to flip Ian Happ over to the other side of the plate because he's a lot better from the left side than he is the right side. It makes sense. Ashby's been really effective, both in relief and in this opener role. Like, there's a lot of reasons that it makes a lot of sense to go this route. And we heard Pat Murphy say in the days leading up to this year, and when we were having a conversation just casually with Matt Arnold the other day, the attitude is it's all hands on deck. They are going to go at this thing in the way that they think will best neutralize the Cubs' really good offense, and this is the way that they saw that they could do it.
Drew Wagner joining us here on the Leadoff Show. I think Ashby, of course, yes, you love what he's done all season long for the Brewers. He pitched an inning and a third in game one effectively as well, and he came up as a starter, as everyone remembers, and now he's in this role of being the opener for the Brewers in game two, his first career postseason start. Drew, we heard that if everything goes well, 4 innings tops maybe out of Aaron Ashby today. I'll give you the same question I asked Mr. Albrecht here. What do you think the likelihood is that he would face Justin Turner twice today?
It depends. That's where the cat and mouse game comes in, because you figure Ashby's going to go through the order once, right? That's kind of how you use an opener usually. You get him go through the order once, and then it depends. Do you make the switch after? Let's say he goes through the first 3 innings, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and he's efficient. Do you leave him back in there and see if Counsell makes the switch or not? It's a guessing game at this point. Who's going to blink first? I don't think we're going to know that question until that they flip the order and that leadoff spot comes up again.
Drew, another question then here for you in regards to the pitching situation. How badly do the Brewers have to go to Quinn Priester or have to go to a bullpen guy after this game is it kind of a figure it out on the fly in this, like you said, cat and mouse chess match between Counsell and Pat Murphy? Do you think he's waiting to see what happens, or he already has a plan for sure of what he will do as the first man out for after Aaron Ashby today?
I think he has a plan of what he would like to do. I think they went over that as a staff, and they have an idea of what they would like to do. But again, it depends on how the game plays out. And listen, I'm not entirely convinced that this is a setup situation for Quinn Priester. I would not be shocked if we saw Robert Gasser come out of the pen and get some innings. I would not be shocked if we saw Mizorowski come out of the pen and get some innings. I would not be shocked at all if they go after this like a bullpen game and save Priester for game 3.
Yeah, I mean, that being a possibility was things that we've been discussing all show today. My question for you is going to be more based on the offense, right? That was my thing with these questions up in the air with what they decide to do on in regards to pitching. Not going to matter as much if the offense can come out and do what it did in game 1. But we did discuss, obviously, there was a lack of the long ball from the Brewers in game 1. Tommy's saying he thinks that does need to be a vital part of this game in game 2. I agree with him. Where do you think this offense is going to come in game 2?
I don't expect them to go out there and start crushing the ball. I mean, they haven't done it all year. Why would they start now? It's just not. It's not their style. And when they beat Imanaga, which they've done a couple of times now, it's been the same way that they go about it every other day. They're not going up there trying to swing for the lake. It's just not who they are. It's not how they're built. Their guys are going to go up there and make a pitcher work. And if he makes a mistake, which the chances go up with every pitch a guy throws, they'll crush it. But their goal is not to go up there and hit home runs. And this argument and this narrative that you have to hit home runs to win is stupid at this point. Like we've been hearing this now for 162 games. Like they keep winning. Why would you have them go up and do something different now?
I think that from the mindset I'm coming from, Drew, is they're going to keep needing mistakes thrown, right? This isn't a team that is this. They don't have an Aaron Judge, right?
How do you get mistakes thrown?
Good at bats, long at bats. Put pressure on them in those ABs. I'm trying to reiterate what you always say on here in my thought process when I say homers need to happen. Well, the Brewers need to keep having those competitive at-bats, and they got to take advantage of the mistake pitches that are going to be thrown in this game at some point. You're never going to have a game where 100% efficiency on a pitching for a pitcher in a game, and I think the Brewers are going to have to continue to do that and hopefully get into one as well. Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports, joining us here on the leadoff show. When we keep talking about the offense, the big storyline today, Jackson Chourio in the lineup today, Drew. He will lead off for the Crew in this contest. Having him back, he was the guy, obviously, who brings the momentum right back in Milwaukee's favor in game 1. How crucial and maybe how pressed was Jackson Chourio to play this game because of the big role he had in game 1?
I mean, I don't think there was added pressure on it. I think, listen, the guy wanted to play. If it would not have been, what was the score at that point? 6-1, 5-1. If the game's not out of hand at that point, maybe he stays in the game and finishes it out. But the fact that they had the giant cushion, okay, you can make that move, and you can send them out there. You can be preventative. You can be precautious. You can do all those things because you have a giant lead. I was pretty confident that Chourio was going to be back in the lineup today. No, he's not 100%. But you know what? Very few guys are, even with time off. They're going to be careful with it. They're going to keep an eye on him. Murphy said before the game, if it looks like he can't do the job, they're going to get him out of there. But I don't think it was a matter of him pressing or them pressing. I think all along they expected him to be ready today. They just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something more serious.
And I know, Drew, that they had said that they were going to take a look at it yesterday. We saw a video or two out on Twitter, if you did. How did it look? How did he look in your eyes yesterday, Drew? Did everything seem to be like, at least, for all things considered, all systems go, and doesn't look like he's wincing? Is he swinging competitively still in BP? How did Jackson Chourio look with you getting to see him a little bit of yesterday and today?
I was in the media room when he was doing his workouts, so I saw the same videos that you saw. And
okay.
I looked at that and I saw a guy that wasn't going at full intensity, which I wasn't expecting him to do. When I saw him out there today and what I saw on video today, he looked like he was just going through a normal day at the office. He wasn't hesitant. He wasn't limping. I mean, there's no signs that you're hurt. But again, with something like a hamstring, they're tricky. They're finicky. It's like a bat. One little step, 1/4 of an inch is the difference between, being fine and being out for 6 weeks. So you have to be cognizant of it. You have to be aware of it. You have to be on the lookout for it. And the Churio's part, he's got to be open about it. Well, if he's feeling a grab, he's got to say something, be like, I need to get out of here, because you'd rather lose him for a game, even in a short series, than lose him for the entire run.
In game one, it'd be easy to say that Churio, had the most moments, but we were talking about in game one, and I said the biggest moment came from Blake Perkins with that 11 pitch at bat that ended up ending in a hit that got Boyd out of the game. Where do you see that moment being tonight, and who has that moment for the Brewers?
I don't know. If I could predict the future, I'd be at the Potawatomi Sportsbook right now. But listen, here's the thing: is every one of those guys is capable of putting together that kind of attack, and that's why I said before that all this talk about home runs doesn't matter. It's an afterthought, because home runs are thrown; they're not hit. And you have guys who have the ability to go up there and put together 8, 9, 10, 11 pitch at bats. Every single guy in that lineup has that ability. That's how this offense is built. So it all depends. The longer you go in an inning, the better the chances are of seeing an at bat like that, because guys have seen the dude throw his pitches, and it helps that they've seen Imanaga throw before. They've had great success against him. They know what he does. They know how to counter it. So, I mean, who it's going to be? It could be any of the 9 guys in the lineup.
Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports. Follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Uncle Drew, have a good rest of your night, my friend.
Sounds good, buddy. We'll talk to you Wednesday.
All right, there he is. Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports. Make sure you give him a Twitter follow @byAndrewWagner. We're going to test Brandon Snide's producer ability here.
Oh, boy.
Because I told him to swap everything from segment 2 and segment 3. We're going to keep that back end. I want to get into this next feature presented by Iron Workers Local 8. Let's go into Eye on the Enemy here on the Leadoff Show.
Nobody likes them.
Craig Counsell returning to American Family Field.
We all want to see them lose.
It's not my job to tell people how to feel about something, or even to figure it out. Let people feel how they want to feel, and I'm good with that, and I think it doesn't have to be all positive.
It's time to eye up the enemy for today's game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Eye on the Enemy, presented by Iron Workers Local 8, building Milwaukee's future one beam at a time. Thanks again to Iron Workers Local 8 for being a part of the Leadoff Show. Career numbers in the lineup versus Aaron Ashby for the Chicago Cubs. Justin Turner, 0 for 3. Nico Horner, 1 for 5. It'll be the first time Kyle Tucker registers an AB. He has walked before. Seiya Suzuki, 2 for 6. 3 for 10. Ian Happ, the only man in the order to have taken Aaron Ashby deep in this game. Carson Kelly, 2 for 4. Pete Crow Armstrong, 0 for 4. Dansby Swanson's 3 for 7. That's good for a 429 batting average. And Matt Shaw is 1 for 6. Now the Brewers versus Shota Imanaga as well. In the lineup today for Milwaukee, you have Jackson Churio, who is 1 for 5. Bryce Terang, 1 for 9 with a homer as well. William Contreras had that multi-homer game this year off of Shota Imanaga. He is 3 for 10. Christian Yelich is 3 for 10 with a homer. Andrew Vaughn is 3 for 7. Sal Frelick, 1 for 6. Caleb Durbin, 0 for 7 in his career versus Shota.
He's due.
Blake Perkins is 3 for 4 with a homer. And Joey Ortiz, that bottom part of the order, 4 for 9 as well. Blake Perkins, by the way, I don't know if you know this, he is 5 for 10 in postseason play in his career. He has done a fantastic job playing October baseball as well. But the optimism that I get, Josh, I told you, the bottom part of the order, when the Brewers are at their best, it is when the bottom part of the order is producing And both Blake Perkins and Joey Ortiz, some good history against Shota, has to feel a little bit good, at least if you're one of those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that seems to be the recipe, and it's a good recipe, and it worked in the regular season. You just hope that it carries on here into the postseason as well.
I'm excited to see it. We're going to get to our guy, Austin Herdina, over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll break a little early so that if you guys are waiting to get your bets in, because you know how good Austin is at giving out a parlay for the people on every single leadoff show, you can run over to your kiosk at the Potawatomi Sportsbook immediately after hearing it here on the leadoff show, presented by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. If you want to get a shuttle, make sure you get over here and come say hi. Come grab some free stuff. We got hats and koozies still available for sure. The shirts are gone, though. If you want a Euchre Magic shirt, you're going to have to wait till the next remote on Wednesday, which will be at Natty Oaks.
That's
by the
very
way.
true. Yes, it will.
Josh's stomping grounds as well. That'll be at 3 o'clock. We'll have a nice little watch party as well. If you want to come hang out, watch the game with us. Austin Herdina over at Potawatomi coming up next. It is the leadoff show. We are live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Brandon Stein producing the show back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to the Leadoff Show. One more segment to wrap up 3 hours of preview coverage here on the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We are live at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Tommy Wortz, Josh Albrecht here. Lineup for the Brewers one more time in case you missed it earlier in the show. Jackson Churio in left field to lead things off. Bryce Terang at second base will bat second. William Contreras is catching, batting third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth today. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Sal Frelick in right field to bat sixth. Caleb Durbin is at third base, batting seventh. Batting eighth, it'll be Blake Perkins in center field. Rounding things out, batting ninth, the shortstop, Joey Ortiz.
At the wall, looking up, see you later.
Let's get the latest on today's odds for the game. What's the best way to go? Let's check in with our expert from the Potawatomi Sportsbook to find out. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, the sportsbook manager over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, joining us each and every day, Austin Herdina over at Potawatomi, joining the show. Austin, how are we doing tonight, my friend?
Excellent. Ready for game 2.
Yes, I am too. I'm excited. I feel like everyone around me is way more nervous right now, and I am ready to go. I want to see game 2. I know it's going to be a little different as you have Aaron Ashby on the bump for Milwaukee and not a guy like Quinn Priester. But, Austin, I couldn't be more excited after what I saw in game 1 from the Crew.
Yeah, you know what? I was nervous going into game 1. Top of the first, obviously, first batter of the game hits a home run. Not a great way to start. But then we get up in the bottom of the first and we really closed the game in the first inning. I mean, we scored 6 runs, and bottom of the second we added on. It was just a great way to start off the series, and I feel a lot less nervous now that we're up 1-0.
Yes.
So I'm feeling pretty good about tonight.
You can still have the butterflies and the high expectations.
If you don't, I will.
You can't actually, chalk anything up. But I feel like this proves that the Brewers don't necessarily need to succumb to the rest of Major League Baseball. They get to play their game, and it's proven successful. Again, Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Betting odds, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Brewers favorites on the money line at -148, -1.5 the spread. Will get you +155 in favor of Milwaukee, and the over-under 7.5. I mean, it hit again over on 7.5 last time, Austin. But what do you like over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook to get a nice little parlay for the people going today?
So I'm starting off with Brewers money line. I think we take care of the game today at home. Right now, the number looks like it's at -148. So I'm adding that to the parlay. I like Christian Yelich to get a hit. He's our captain. He's the guy that's got to be making the clutch hits tonight. He's in the cleanup spot. I like him tonight. And then I like Ian Happ for the Cubs to not get a hit. This season, he is batting. Yeah. He had a home run last game. But versus lefties this year, he's batting .231. At night games this year, he's batting .228. I don't see him having success tonight against lefty.
All right. Well, it's Brewers money line, Christian Yelich to record a hit, and Ian Happ to not record a hit. It'll pay +310, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Austin, what else is going on over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook people need to know about? You had an awesome Saturday event with UFC 320. Of course, you're going to be showing all different kinds of – there's Monday Night Football going on right now, and the Brewers play tonight, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, my team's been telling me it's been a lot of people in there tonight, a lot of people taking advantage of our shuttles, getting their bets in. And shuttles are running 2 hours before first pitch now for the rest of the playoffs. So that's pretty awesome. And then we just got word that we're going to continue our shuttle service for Milwaukee Bucks games this year. So that's the first time we're doing that. So that's pretty exciting too.
The shuttle service has been awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 shuttles. They're running nonstop. I mean, if you ever have to wait for the shuttle, it's not more than a few minutes. It's really nice service that we're offering people. And then, if you want to get reservations, any tables to watch the games in our sports book, just go to Potawatomi.com, go to sportsbook and reservations, and get your table set up, because we have we didn't have a Packer game this last week, but we got Packer game coming this Sunday. Definitely gets busy. If you want to get a table ahead of time, that's how you do it.
Should be an awesome time. Austin Herdina, thank you so much for popping on today. Have a good rest of your night, my friend. And, of course, go Brewers.
Go Brewers.
There he is, Austin Herdina, sportsbook manager over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Got about 5 minutes left here. I have a sounder, top right of that bar. It is called Keys to the Game. Let's get to that next.
How does the crew win today's game? Who needs to step up? Let's find out with the Keys to the Game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Going to bring Brandon Snide back in here, joined by Josh Albrecht, of course,
Yes,
as
sir.
well. Josh, I'll let you go first. Key to the game today for the Brewers.
The key to the game is offense, in my opinion. There's all these question marks. Everyone wants to focus on who's pitching, who's coming in after Ashby, what's the plan, all these other things. I'm sitting here going, did we forget what happened in game one? It didn't matter that Freddie was out there because the offense rocked it. We need to see another great performance from this offense, and if they can get out and up early, it's going to be huge for this team in game two.
Mr. Snide, where's your key to the game for the Brewers today?
Kind of there with Josh, but I'm going to take a step back. I don't think it needs to be exactly like game one, but what they need to do is just get on base against Shota. He is a completely different pitcher when the pressure is on him. When you've got guys on base, he's uncomfortable. He hasn't pitched well at American Family Field. He's 1-3 versus the Milwaukee Brewers, a 5.73 ERA. Get on base, put pressure on that Cubs defense. We saw what that pressure did with Nico Horner in game one. Do it again in game two, and good things will happen.
I'm going to go away from both of you guys on this one. I am going to
Sounds about
say
right.
It's all about Aaron Ashby being clean, in that if he's going to be the opener and they want to play this chess match, I'm all for it, as long as it works out and it goes the right way. Otherwise, there's going to be a whole topic. There's going to be a whole 2 hours dedicated as to why Quinn Priester didn't pitch. Why isn't Priester the guy getting the opportunity? I could see this game being totally amazing if Aaron Ashby is clean in his opener role today. I think that a lot of pressure is on him, because most people thought the second most pressure after Freddie Peralta lied on Quinn Priester going into this series, and I think it's all shifted now into a strong, safe opener out of Aaron Ashby. I have faith in him to do it, but I do think it is today's key to the game, as we were trying to say that when the Brewers are the team that scores first, they're a lot more successful right now. So there's your keys to the game from all of us there. Some people have faith in the offense on this show. Other people must totally
Prove me wrong.
Just ignore it.
Prove me wrong.
That's going to do it for us here at the Fan. Brewers' first pitch. It's coming up. It's going to be an awesome one. I'm so excited for it. Brandon, thank you so much for helping out today. I know it was
Pleasure
your
to
first
be
time
here.
working this show.
Oh, yeah. It was fun.
I had a blast. Dodgers right now up 4-1 in the top part of the ninth inning with this guy, Shohei Ohtani.
I've
if
heard
you've
of
heard
him.
of him, up with 2 men on, going up against Johan Duran. Really good chance for them to open this thing up with 2 strikes on Shohei Ohtani. The winner of this series will face the winner of Brewers and Cubs, obviously, and it's the Brewers' job to get us into game number 2 today. Aaron Ashby going up against Shota Imanaga. And, of course, we are here with our good friends, Sun Cruiser Vodka. Can you see that? Which one do you got? You got lemonade?
Yeah, I got lemonade.
Iced tea. I got the classic iced tea. These are delicious. I'm telling you, Sun Cruiser Vodka always doing their thing here on the Leadoff Show and helping us get remote. We're going to be at Natty Oaks 3 to 4 on Wednesday. That's going to be an awesome one. Make sure you come join us over at Natty Oaks. Josh, you'll be there, I'm sure.
You bet. I'm going to be there with you, buddy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Natty Oaks in West Dallas, where National and Oklahoma meet for the first away game of this series with the Cubs. We're going to have not only the leadoff show, but we're going to have a watch party. We're going to have some myself, other members of the Fan family showing up. We hope you'll join us, cheer loud, and cheer on the Brewers as they hopefully are going for that sweep. We will find out before the night is over tonight.
Game 2, it is Aaron Ashby going up against Shota Imanaga at American Family Field. 8:08 first pitch from American Family Field. If you are going to the game, I hope you have a good time. I hope you are safe. Hope everyone enjoys their time. I hope it's exactly like how Game 1 was. If you didn't get to go to Game 1, I hope you get to experience that in Game 2 as well, because that game was awesome, and the Brewers looking to do their thing again and go up 2-0 on the Chicago Cubs. I'm ready for it, Josh. I can't believe it's here. I can't believe we're going to sign off here and go watch some of this. We're going to go to your house. I'm going to get home as well. I'm excited. Brandon, I hope you can eat some food.
It's going to be a lot of pacing.
Won't happen until after the game.
Brandon, best of luck to you and your heart rate. I will be checking my Apple Watch and what it tells me mine is at very, very consistently from 8:08 on.
It is the leadoff show. We are live from Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Thanks to our good friends at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Brandon back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's get it. Game 2 is here. One more thing before you go. Don't forget, send them home.